So far, the rally has taken us 16 days to cross Europe, Turkey and Georgia, spending a couple of eventful days in Georgia's capital, Tbilisi. Now, on day 17, we hit the road yet again.
So we've just left Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, and we're heading towards the Azerbaijan border. We've heard, many people have told us that the border is actually closed, the land border, but everything seems to be unclear online. We want to get as far east as possible, so we're just going to head to the border, have a chat with them, see what's going on. If it's closed, we'll head into Armenia. If it's open, we'll wait out and see if we can get a fast visa and whiz on through to the Caspian Sea. Fingers crossed!
There it is, the Georgian flag. The gate is very closed. Doesn't look like it's promising, but let's get some nice photos at least. This is as far east as we have been able to go by the looks of it. Real shame that we haven't been able to get over to Baku. Can't be helped. But sadly, COVID has stumped that for us, and they've closed the Azerbaijan border for a bit longer than anticipated, so we can get no further east than this point. But it is what it is.
Always a chancer, Alex went to double check.
So,
Bit of a surprise.
I just decided that I'd go and talk to the border guard and double check that the border's closed. He said, yeah, it's closed. And I was like, is there any other border open? And he was like, yes, the Redbridge border, which is the one we had aimed to go to, but the sat-nav detoured and brought us to this one. So we are gonna go and give it another shot and see if we can get into Azerbaijan and get to Baku and to the Caspian Sea and go east.
Let's go east!
We weaved our way along yet more Georgian roads, dodging the inevitable cows and potholes onwards towards the Redbridge border. Hello, Madlaba! We can see the border ahead. We are getting closer. We've had one person so far that we've passed who's gesticulated for us to turn around. Probably not going to be successful, but let's see. There appears to be green on the car lane bit.
No, this border is closed.
Drive over with visa.
After that you can.
After that we can't. Hey, it was worth a try. Brilliant. Thank you very much. We'll head back to Georgia. Thank you, my friend. All the best. Bye-bye. Take care.
Yeah, we're not getting in. Sadly, everything just is against us. Nah, it's not really. COVID border restrictions. Azerbaijan extended their restrictions, only letting trucks over the open border, and to do that you have to have an invitation from the embassy at the moment, which obviously we don't have. So even getting the visa, the online visa, there'd be no point. He said we can't go in.
Sadly, it was now clear Armenia would be the furthest point east we could get, assuming they let us in.
We continued across Georgia towards the Armenian border, making an unexpected and very interesting stop at the medieval town of Dmanisi, where in 2004 a 1.8 million year old skull was found, the oldest outside of Africa, which proved that humans had moved out of Africa much earlier than previously believed.
Finally, we arrived at the Georgian side of the Georgia-Armenia border at a tiny crossing in the mountains.
Kamajaba.
Okay.
We can wait. You good today? What's your name? Levan, nice to meet you. I'm Doug, this is Alex.
Would you like a sweet?
It's from the Czech Republic.
Would you like to sign up on?
What time must to write?
Anything you want.
Alright, try to find something for you and never let's go back.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
love it.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
This was the last pleasant interaction we had at the crossing, and it was soon to become very challenging.
Finally, after half an hour, we were allowed to continue through to the Armenian side of the border.
The car was searched several times, and confusion reigned amongst the border guards.
We have made it to the Armenian border. We have had our car looked in 3 times, opened the doors, opened the drawers. I had to go through the walk-in bit, Doug went through the car bit. They've asked Doug to go back in now and re-show his passport and his driving licence and the car passport, even though they just did that. They're doing it again, so we're just going with it, see what happens.
An hour and a half later.
No idea what just happened. So
You were in there ages.
I paid $25, I think, for the import tax. I don't know. It just basically started shouting at me and telling me to go to the next room. And so then checked all my documents again, asked me if my name was Charles. Then said, where are you going? I went everywhere. And they said, I asked them where to visit. And they said, the Lake 7. She checked the engine size and things like that for tax and all sorts.
How much did you put her value as?
£450.
What? She's worth way more than that. You know, she's worth 5,000 now, this car.
30 minutes later.
So we've been at the Armenian border for nearly 2 hours, and Doug got taken in that second time. Then he got called back in because the lady had forgotten to actually scan his passport. Now we're at the next checkpoint before we actually leave to get onto the road, and there's another problem with his passport. We don't know what, but they've taken it.
15 minutes later.
So we found out the issue and have given Doug his passport back, sent us back to the last checkpoint. They hadn't stamped it, so a couple of the border guards have taken Doug back inside to get his stamp in his passport, and then hopefully we can make it through the last checkpoint. Shouldn't be too long, hopefully.
30 minutes later.
Okay, I'm back, and it is stamped.
Woohoo!
We were in Armenia.
So we might be through the border now, but we still have to get our car insurance, which is proving difficult as well. Seems that because we chose a border crossing that's up in the mountains, they don't really speak very much English, probably aren't used to UK registered cars coming through. So Doug is in an office trying to get our car insurance, and I'm just making some food out the back of the car because it's way past lunchtime. It's dinner time and we haven't eaten since this morning, breakfast, and we are starving, so we have to find somewhere to camp here as well.
Half an hour later.
Finally got the car insurance. We are back on the road. How was that border crossing for you, Doug?
Long, a little bit stressful. Didn't stamp my passport, didn't scan my passport. I think I confused them basically because it's probably the first UK car they've actually had come over the border, especially one that looks like this, with a camper built inside. Anyway, much quicker for the people after, but for me it was a pain in the ass.
As the crossing had taken nearly 4 hours, and with no suitable park-ups any nearer, we were now doomed to drive the terrible Armenian roads in the dark. A big no-no in any rally.
Wow, look at this. Stunning. That was running, yes. We need to pull them. Oh, stones. Some guard is taking some of them.
This is ace.
I'm loving this. This is what it's about.
What's it all about?
The roads were terrible, and Sheila's lights even worse. Thankfully we had the light bar, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to negotiate these roads.
What's going on here? They're just checking the wheels, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, just doing a wheel check while we were waiting.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Still, the 30-kilometre journey took over 2 hours, but eventually we arrived, after a very long, exhausting day, at our park-up, ending day 17 of the rally and bringing our totals to 12 countries and 3,610 miles.
Join us in the next episode of the Long Loop Rally, when we try out Armenian shopping,
Find some interesting parking places.
and explore creepy, abandoned hotels.
Remember to like, subscribe and follow to stay up to date on our bonkers rally antics and to see where our little car takes us.